Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. This is Michaela and I'm going to do today with you Alicia Halter Neck cutout top. It's going to be a reversible top, so I've got my pieces cut and I'm going to call the snake fabric my main my main side of the fabric. And what I'm going to present you first, this is my main piece. This is my my back piece. I have an under bust piece, and as well I'm going to add elastic to it. I'm going to show you once again how I'm sewing it, the band with elastic, and this is my neck band. As well, I have my bra clasps. I wanted to make it reversible, so actually the bra clasp on one side it will be on the kind of like the wrong side, but this is like such a pretty one, I don't think it will be any problem actually. So what I'm going to do first, I'm going to place my let's call it second fabric with the right side facing, yeah, it's hard to tell which is the right side of the fabric. And since I decided the snake will be my main side of the fabric, I will go ahead and I will be stitching mainly the snake piece on top first, I mean. So I'm going to go ahead and pin. I'm pinning the cutout area. And as I always do throughout all my videos and practically all my patterns, I'm going to do a basting stitch first. The basting stitch is practically a straight stitch with the highest stitched length, which later I'm going to do like small cuts into it. Why I'm doing this, this is helping me to secure the two fabrics together, because sometimes they can be a little bit slippery. So if you go ahead and serge it and adding elastic in the same time, it can be tricky. So I'm also pinning the underarms areas in the same time. So then I'm going to do together with you the basting stitch, just one of them. I will be showing you how I do it, and I make the small cuts into it, and then the rest I will be making it off camera. So yes, like I said, sorry, I was adjusting my camera. So like I said, I'm going to do now first a basting stitch. I've got already my thread prepared and everything, so I'm going ahead and I'll be doing this. Sorry, I feel like my camera is like sliding off. I don't understand the reason. Okay, so the basting stitch is done, and as you see, I'm doing these small cuts into it, so it's allowing my fabric to have still stretch. And afterwards I'm going ahead and I'm going to serge it, and I'm going to add elastic in the same time. If you don't have a serger, I recommend you to use a zigzag stitch. So I'll be basting stitching the other sides, and once I'm done, I will come back and I will show you how I serge with elastic. Okay, so I have done my basting stitch all over, and I did a little cuts already into it, and now I'm going ahead to my serger. And like I said, if you don't have a serger, I recommend you to use a zigzag stitch. So when I use it, I actually have it on 3.5 width and stitch length. So as you see, I'm actually adding the elastic. I'm grinding it with my hand. Why is that? Because I want to kind of like ruche it a little bit. And again, why is that? I am actually ruching it a little bit by hand because since I will be making it reversible, I don't want my second fabric to peak when being worn. So practically could be the first fabric, the second fabric. So whenever they are reversible and you don't want them to be seen when worn on the other side, then it's a good idea to zigzag stitch. But in order that it doesn't wave, it's better to add a little bit of a tension in your elastic. This is just my recommendation. If you wish not to add elastic, and if you don't mind that the second fabric it's peeking through, then obviously it's up to you. So I've added elastic everywhere around the neck area and on the sides. And now what I'm going to do, I'm going to turn the top on the right side together. And like I said, I'm going to first top stitch it using a zigzag stitch. I'm going to do one with you. So I've set it up on 3.5. And the rest I'm going to do it actually off camera. Sorry, I will be doing the neck since the sides I will probably need them first to be stitched to my back piece. So here it is. As it's already a little bit creased, this will help not to wave after. And it's actually creating a little bit of tension, which is great. And it will lay very beautifully after. Okay, so as you see, I did my zigzag stitch, and this will prevent rolling in between the fabrics, and I really love how it looks like. Yeah, the sides I will leave it for the moment, as first I'm going to work on my back piece. So I've got already my right sides facing together, and what I'm going to do, I'm actually just going to pin the upper part of my back piece like this. And the same I'm going to do first a basting stitch, and then I'm going to add elastic like I did with my front piece. I will leave the sides undone and the bottom part of the top undone. And once I'm finished, I will be doing this off camera. Once I'm finished, I will show you how to connect already the sides of the top. Okay, so I've got already my back piece. I've got my back piece already stitched. The elastic is added, and what I'm going to do, I'm going to unfold the back piece and the front piece, and I'm going to pin starting the seam. I'm going to be pinning this piece. And for this part, you actually do not need elastic, so you just go ahead and zigzag stitch it or serge it. But I totally recommend, if you wish to do a basting stitch before, I recommend you to do it. So yes, we will be pinning like this both sides of the top, and the back piece together with the front piece. And off camera, I am going to basting stitch and stitch the sides. Once I'm done, I will be showing you the next step, adding the neck band. Okay, so I've got my back piece together, stitched the sides together with my front piece. And what I'm going to do next, actually, before adding the neckband, I am going to do my zigzag stitch on the other side, like I said, and I'm going to go all around the back area. And once I've done this, I will be making a straight stitch over like this and another straight stitch over. This will help to hold the fabrics together so they're not moving when I'll be adding the neckband. Okay, so I've done my zigzag stitching, I've done my straight stitching, and next what I'm going to do, I'm going to actually do a straight stitch over the two ends of my front piece. Why? Because I want them that they are unified when I'm going to sew the neckband. So I just went ahead and I did literally one back and forth of the straight stitch, and this brought them together. So the next part, it's going to be a little bit tricky. In order to do this reversible, you have to first sew one part. So I'm going to fold it in two, and I'm going to mark my center of my neckband. All right, this is my center of my neckband, and I'm going to place it on top of my front piece, and I'm going to pin. So we will be sandwiching it. It's a burrito method. It's a little bit tricky, like I said, because you will have to roll together all the top in order to be fitting in your neckband. But it's the only way to do it, to have your top reversible. So the same, I'm doing a basting stitch to have first, because I'm going to sew over 4 layers of fabric, so to secure 3 layers together, and then to be able to do the burrito method. So I do these little stitches into it. All right, so next, this comes the tricky part. Here comes the tricky part. What I'm going to do, I'm going to try to roll it as close as I can together like this, and then I'm going to bring my other side of the neckband over, and you will have to pin it. And the same, I recommend you to do first. So I'm going to, on this side first, I'm going to pull it a little bit under like this, so it's easier to sew this little part. So like I said, I definitely recommend to do a straight stitch, so basting stitch, before you go ahead and you serge it. It's a little bit tricky, but you'll have to make it work. So it's a pull and push situation through it. So yeah, you have to go slow and try. Like, I try not to pin too much, because afterwards I'm going to get pinched in my fingers a lot. So I'm going very slow, and I make sure that I'm actually stitching just over my 2 layers of fabric. Wherever I'm feeling like I'm getting fabric in between, I'm just trying to push it inside. And like I said, I'm going quite slowly, so I hope you do get to see something, because I tend to get very close by. So this step can actually be easier to be done in case you decide not to zigzag stitch. So therefore you can only add the back piece a little bit later. I really wanted to zigzag stitch, and therefore I had to add my back piece already. So yeah, it became a little a little bit trickier, but everything is possible with some patience. So I'm going to try to pull some out, because this way it's going to be much easier for me to guide a little bit of my fabric through. And you will have to take care, because you see I just actually stitched a little bit over my another layer of fabric, so you'll have to be very careful not to do this. So I'm going to quickly unstitch this bit. And I'm going to go ahead over one more time. And I'm going to try to pull a little bit out. Okay. I did pull a little bit, so now it's a little bit easier to go through. So yeah, the burrito method, I'm honest to you, it's not really my favorite one, but I know it's the one method to use when you wanna so reversible, and at the same time you want to you have to stitch a band to it. So and here I'm going to try to push it once again away. So this, since this is just a basting stitch, next step is actually going over and you will have to do a zigzag stitch or serge it. So yes, I will be doing this off camera since it's a little bit of a slow process, but yeah, I hope you understand what is the step to be done. Okay, so this is my top. This is the beloved burrito, and I'm actually going to use a loop turner to pull it through. I try not to pull too hard so I don't rip anything, but yeah, it's actually quite difficult to do it just using your fingers. But yeah, once you get a little bit out, then little by little try to be pulling without forcing. All right. So I have a little bit of stitches which I want to remove afterwards, since I did my basting stitch first. Obviously some of the stitches went loose. Okay, so everything is turned on the right side of the fabric. I've got here my top, looking really good. All right, next what I'm going to do, actually I'm going to start with my underbust band. First I'm going to serge really quickly the side. And I will continue with my elastic band, so I'm going to fold it like that on top of each other. So I make like a circle. And next step, I am actually going to pin all around on the right side of my underbust band. I'm going to pin my my elastic band. Why I choose to pin it? Because the elastic, when it's being sewn, tends to kind of like overstretch a little bit. So I did it once without pinning, and it didn't fit well, so I had to unstitch and redo. So yes, ever since I'm pinning it, like I said, on the right side of my band. Actually, I've cut the elastic tiny bit shorter, so I'm going to stretch it tiny bit. And then I'm going to do a basting stitch like I usually do. So I'm going to do the basting stitch to my elastic for my underbust band, and the same I'm going to make little cuts through, so it allows it to stretch. Once I'm done this, I'm going to show you what are the next steps. Okay, so I've done the basting stitch on my underbust band, and as well I went ahead and I did a basting stitch as well on the lower side, on the lower side of my top. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to turn it on the green side, so on my second side of my fabric, and I'm going to introduce the band with the right side together like this, and I'm going to pin and zigzag stitch or serge, whatever you prefer to do. So I'm matching my right side of the fabric together. Like I said, the band is slightly smaller, so when you will be pinning, remember to slightly pull a little bit the underbust band so it fits well with the rest of the top. So I'm finishing to pin, and then I go and immediately I will serge it. Once I've serged, I will show you how to finish the underbust band and how to add the bra clasps. Okay, so I've serged my underbust band on my second side of the fabric, fabric, right? And next, what I'm going to do, I practically unfolded everything, and now I'm going to turn it on my main side of my fabric. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to give a twist. So one time folding and once again folding. So I'll be folding it 2 times. Next, what I'm going to do, I'm going to be arranging the elastic so it stays like really fit and snugly, and I'm practically I'm going to pin it over this first seam. So perhaps this step can take a little while, but I think it's really important to pin it correctly and to fold it correctly, as this way you're practically concealing your seam of your underbust band. So I'm going to pin everything off camera. Once I'm done, I'm going to show you. I'm going to be using this time I'm going to be using a zigzag stitch for this step, since obviously I wanted that it's reversible. So zigzag stitch is actually my only option. So once I've pinned everything, I'm going to show you how I zigzag stitch it. Okay, so my underbust band is all pinned, and now I'm going to go ahead and I will be stitching it using a zigzag stitch. So I'm placing it under, and I always like to start with the seam because I like to match the 2 seams together. So I'm going to do a few stitches back and forth, and in the same time I'm pulling a little bit of this fabric so they're not bunching together underneath, and with the other hand I'm slightly helping my machine to go over just in these bulkier areas. Once it's passed through the bulking area, like I said, the elastic band is slightly smaller, so I'm going to pull my elastic band with one hand whilst I will be zigzag stitching. So yeah, I'll be doing the rest on the off camera. I wanted to just show you the beginning steps. Like I said, it's a matter of pull and pulling Okay, I finished zigzagging my underbust band, and I'm actually really happy of how it looks like. Obviously the main fabric will be worn more than the second fabric, so yes, it's looking really nice. Next, this is the last step. Actually, I will be doing it off camera, but I'm going to show you what and how you have to do. Actually, you will be sliding your fabric into one of the bra clasps and actually just fold it like that over and do a straight stitch. Repeat on the other side, and this is your final result of the top and the Alicia one. I'm so happy. I hope you enjoy it. Happy sewing.